Hello, welcome to another one of these. I wanted to jump onto a Windows computer and show off Notepad, which is this lovely little thing where you can type some text. And obviously, if we're going to do some stuff in Notepad, we also need a browser. So I've got my trusty Firefox here. And we're also going to need a picture of a cute kitten. So I have a cute kitten picture right there. Now, I can drag a cute kitten image into a browser and we can see the kitten, and that's fantastic. It'll let us zoom in, see the full quality of the kitten, and that's awesome. But when we're doing it in a web page, we actually have to refer to that picture and write some code. So when we write some code, we need to write something like this: image src equals cutekitten.jpg, and that's kind of it, right? I'll do one of those as well. But when it comes to saving this, we need to save it and we need to give it a name, right? So we're just going to say index.html, and that'll be our page. So this index.html file is just a text file, but we've just given it the extension of HTML. We drag it in here, and it shows us the kitten image, because that's exactly what we've asked for. Now, if I want to do some CSS stuff, I need to put this other tag in here, which is the style tag. And I have to say that all images in this page will have a width of no more than 200 pixels. I need to save this. I need to go here, refresh it, and now that makes that image a little bit smaller. Now, in my style, I can also go and say I want my body of this to have a background color of black. And remember, we're going to spell color American way, so it's not a typo. Click save, refresh, and there it is. And then I can actually go and say, I'd like my image to have a border, which is white, which is solid, and maybe 2 pixels in width. Save, refresh, so I get a nice border around it. Those are just things that we can do inside of your index page that then translates over here. The good thing about most modern browsers is that they take care of the other bits and pieces here for you. They basically say, hey, you forgot to put the HTML tag in. You forgot to put the head tag in. You forgot, well, we didn't forget the style tag, but that's where we've put the style tag in the head. Oh, and you forgot the body tag, and we've put the image over here. So starting by just knowing little bits and pieces like that allows you to create your basic page. No need for Dreamweaver. You're able to test it out in your browser, and even if you make the mistake of not including those other things, it still does it for you. And so let me explain some of these basics, since we're just having a look at it. When we make a new HTML page, we usually go in here and we say, hey, I have a HTML page. We also at the very bottom then say, hey, I want to close my HTML page. When we have a HTML page, it's got 2 bits. It's got a head, and it also has a body. But when we open up a head component, we also want to close that head. When we open up a body, we also want to close that body. And so when we do that correctly, the page doesn't change here. The inspect element just absolutely understands what it is that we're trying to do and says, yeah, no problem. I've got these now. I understand what you're trying to achieve. So it's then easy to go back and say, all right, well, I actually want to have a nice big heading. So I'm going to have a H1 that says the cute kitten website, and close off that heading 1. And I might also have a paragraph after it, which is going to be let us know how awesome this image is. Right, and then we'll close that and save that. All that does is it puts some text up above, and it puts some text down below. Now, because I made the background black, and the text is by default black, I can't see it. Now, if you remember the body tag is what wraps all of these things together. So these 3 are inside the body tag, meaning they all get the black background. Which means what I can do, obviously, is I can change that to white, but that's not what I'm trying to achieve here. What I can do is set the foreground color of the text to white. And then I can save that, and I can then refresh that, and I can see the text above and below. So what we're doing whenever we kind of mess around with HTML is we're just specifying how these things should be shown, what should be done, etc. If I wanted to, I could say that, my H1 uses a font size of, I don't know, 70, and that would again make that a lot bigger, making all of those other bits and pieces smaller. If I don't want that gap between those things, we can mess around with that. Again, if you're not sure where does the gap come from, right click, inspect element, go to your computed, have a look here, and you can see that there's this margin bottom which is set to 46.9. So what we can do is we can say, okay, font size that, and margin bottom back to 0. And so if we save that, the image comes up again. So you don't have to know, but you just need to know where to find it and how to figure out where is that spacing coming from, how do I get rid of it, how do I push it, to a specific position on the page, etc. But Notepad lets you do that. Text edit is the equivalent on the Mac, but you just got to make sure that you go into plain text mode, otherwise it won't work. Your trusty browser's here to just kind of keep track of what you're doing as you kind of refresh and test it. Your image file is where the kitten is getting loaded into. The cute kitten needs to sit next to it somewhere. If you were to delete this image and you refresh the page, you get this broken kind of image icon because you got rid of that particular picture. So I need to bring it back, put it next to it, refresh, and it works again. If I was to put it into an actual folder, so I'm going to make this website folder, right? If I put my index into the website folder, if I then go and I actually open up the index page from the website folder, the image doesn't work either because the image is up here. Now I could do some magic and go in here and say ... go up a folder, and then magically it should work, which it's not because I am editing the wrong file now. I'm so clever. Okay, so now I actually have to drag this index page into my Notepad, or open it in Notepad, because now I'm editing it. Now I can do the magic ... There's the picture of the kitten, but again, if I move it back into the folder, that breaks, and I need to get rid of the ... and then it works again. If you're wondering what ... does, this is just instructions for it to go up a folder. So that's one folder above, two folders above, three folders above. Not a good idea to do, but if you're stuck and you have to do it, that's how you do it. This tells it that that image is right next to it, so that's what it's looking for. If I was to be nice and tidy, I would always make an images folder. I would put the cute kitten folder in there. Again, this will break, and then I have to go in here and say inside my images there's a cute kitten, and then it refreshes and it loads that in there. That just keeps things tidy so that when you have lots of images, they all live in the images folder, while your HTML pages live here. So if you had an about page, all of these HTML files would live next to each other, while your images would live inside a folder. So those are just things to think about, consider. Again, I just wanted to do this on a Windows computer because we've been working on the Mac for all the other videos, and just wanted to show you that it works on Windows too, and how to kind of make it work even without Dreamweaver. But that's the general kind of idea of what it is that you can practice, and yeah, hopefully you're just getting a little bit more comfortable with all this stuff as we move forward. So hope you enjoyed. Leave some comments below if you have them. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed yet, remember to subscribe so you get those notifications when the new videos are up. And remember that at 6 o'clock there's the Collaborate session. So yeah, please join us for that if you can. Alright, see you guys soon. Thank you.